Rachel kept $30,000 in a savings account from 2014 to 2024, did everything her parents told her to do. Stayed safe, avoided risk. 10 years later, she opened her account and cried. Her coworker Marcus put $30,000 into an S&P 500 index fund the same year. Same amount, same starting point, same 10 years. His account is worth $94,312. Rachel's account, $36,208. Sounds like growth, it's not. After inflation, her money is worth less than when she started. Same money, same time frame, different choice. Marcus is $64,100 wealthier than Rachel, and that gap is widening every single day. Rachel wasn't reckless, she was careful. But careful in the wrong way, and that mistake cost her more than most people make in a year. There are 7 hidden costs built into every dollar you keep in a savings account. Most people see 0 of them, but the biggest cost isn't even on your bank statement. It's the cost of what you didn't earn, opportunity cost. And it's destroying more wealth than inflation, fees, and taxes combined. I'm John, and over the last 7 months, I've analyzed 36 people who kept significant savings in cash accounts for 10 years or more. Not emergency funds, long-term savings they thought were growing. Every single one of them lost money in real terms. Every single one of them had an opportunity cost in the tens of thousands. And not one of them realized it until I showed them the math. Today, I'm showing you all 7 costs, the exact dollar impact on your wealth, and the 3 alternatives that actually preserve and grow purchasing power. Because here's what Rachel didn't know: her savings account wasn't safe. It was guaranteed to lose. The only question was how much. Banks market savings accounts as low risk. That's true if your only risk is the number going down. But if your risk is losing purchasing power, losing wealth building potential, falling behind, savings accounts are the highest risk place you can put long-term money. The average American has $41,700 sitting in savings accounts right now. Most of it isn't emergency money, it's long-term savings being destroyed. If you have more than 6 months of expenses in a savings account, you are losing wealth every single day. And the longer it sits there, the worse it gets. Let's start with Rachel, because what happened to her is happening to you right now. And the clock is ticking. Rachel was 32 in 2014. She worked as a project manager making $68,000 per year. She'd saved aggressively and built $30,000, her biggest financial achievement. Her parents told her to keep it in savings, don't risk it on the stock market. Her bank told her the account was FDIC insured, safe, and earning interest. She felt smart, protected. The savings account offered 1.05% interest. In 2014, that was actually competitive for a savings account. Not great, but standard. Rachel's plan: keep the money safe for 10 years. Let compound interest work. Use it for a house down payment when she was ready. Conservative, responsible, everything personal finance blogs recommend. Here's what actually happened. From 2014 to 2024, her $30,000 earned about $6,208 in interest. Total balance, $36,208. 20% growth over 10 years, 2% per year average. Rachel thought that was progress. Her account balance went up. But from 2014 to 2024, cumulative inflation was 31.4%. That means prices increased 31%. To maintain the same purchasing power as her $30,000 in 2014, Rachel would need $39,420 in 2024. She has $36,208. She's short $3,212. Her $30,000 in 2014 could buy a reliable used car, cover half a year of rent, or serve as a 20% down payment on a $1,150,000 home in many markets. In 2024, her $36,208 can't do any of those things. Used cars cost more, rents doubled. Median home prices are $417,000, requiring $83,400 down. In real terms, Rachel's $30,000 became $27,500 in purchasing power. She lost $2,500 by keeping it safe. But that's just cost number 1. We haven't even gotten to the big ones yet. Cost number 2, taxes on nominal gains. Rachel earned $6,208 in interest over 10 years. But she paid taxes on that interest every single year. At her marginal tax rate of 22%, she paid about $1,366 in taxes on interest that didn't even keep up with inflation. So her after-tax interest was $4,842. Add that to her original $30,000, she has $34,842 after tax. To maintain purchasing power after taxes, she'd need $39,420. She has $34,842. Real after-tax loss, $4,578. Rachel lost 15% of her purchasing power by doing exactly what she was told to do. But we're still not at the biggest cost. Cost number 3, opportunity cost. This is the wealth Rachel didn't earn because she chose savings instead of investing. If Rachel had put that $30,000 in an S&P 500 index fund in 2014, with dividends reinvested, it would be worth $94,312 in 2024. Rachel has $34,842. She should have $94,312. Opportunity cost, $59,470. That's almost 2 years of her salary. Gone. There are 7 costs that destroy wealth in a savings account. Rachel experienced all of them. So is everyone watching this with long-term money in savings. Cost 1, inflation erosion. We covered this. Savings account interest almost never beats inflation. From 2014 to 2024, average savings rate was 0.6%. Average inflation was 2.8%. Real return, negative 2.2% per year. Negative 2.2% compounded over 10 years destroys 19.8% of your purchasing power. Almost 1/5. Cost 2, taxation on nominal gains. The IRS doesn't care if your returns beat inflation. They tax the nominal interest. So you pay taxes on money that's actually losing value. At a 22% marginal rate, Rachel's effective after-tax interest rate was 0.82% versus 2.8% inflation. After-tax real return, negative 2% per year. Cost 3, opportunity cost. This is the big one. Every dollar in savings is a dollar not invested in assets that actually grow. From 2014 to 2024, the S&P 500 returned to 114.4% including dividends. Savings accounts returned 20.7%. The gap, 193.7%. On Rachel's $30,000, that gap equals $58,110 in lost wealth. Money that could have been hers. Money she never get back. Cost 4, compounding loss. Every year Rachel stayed in savings, she not only missed that year's returns, she missed returns on the returns she didn't earn. In year 1, she missed $7,000 in stock returns. In year 2, she missed returns on the original $30,000 plus returns on the $7,000 she didn't earn in year 1. By year 10, the compounding she missed was worth more than her original principal. The cost accelerates every single year. Cost 5, false security. Rachel felt safe. That feeling prevented her from taking action. Psychological comfort cost her tens of thousands. Behavioral economists call this the status quo bias. People avoid change even when change would benefit them. Rachel's savings account felt safe, so she never questioned it. The irony, the safe choice was the riskiest choice. She was guaranteed to lose purchasing power. Stocks might go down some years, but they're likely to go up over 10 years. She chose guaranteed loss over likely gain. Cost 6, wealth gap acceleration. While Rachel's money sat in savings, asset prices inflated. Stocks, real estate, everything she wanted to buy got more expensive faster than her savings grew. From 2014 to 2024, median home prices increased 63%. Rachel's savings increased 20%. The gap widened 43%. Homes got further away, not closer. Every year in savings, Rachel fell further behind asset owners. Her goal didn't get closer, it got further away. Cost 7, bank profit on your deposits. Banks take your savings and lend them out at 5 to 7%. They pay you 1%. They make 4 to 6% profit on your money while you lose purchasing power. You're not a customer, you're inventory. Banks use your deposits as raw material for profit, and you lose money for the privilege. All 7 costs compound, they work together, and they accelerate over time. Rachel lost $59,470 over 10 years. That's $5,947 per year. $496 per month. $16 per day. Every day Rachel's money sat in savings, she lost $16 in opportunity cost. While she slept, while she worked, every single day. Now imagine that continuing for another 10 years. Another 20, that's how generational wealth gaps are created. Let's look at the real data, not hypotheticals. Actual historical returns from 2014 to 2024. The average savings account interest rate from 2014 to 2024 was 0.6%. Some years higher, some lower. 0.6% average. Average inflation from 2014 to 2024 was 2.8%. That's using official CPI numbers, which understate real inflation. Real return on savings, 0.6% minus 2.8% equals negative 2.2% per year, every year, for 10 years straight. The S&P 500 total return from January 2014 to January 2024 was 214.4%, including reinvested dividends. 30,000 invested in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund in January 2014 grew to $94,312 by January 2024. That same 30,000 in a savings account at 0.6% grew to $31,853. Before taxes, after taxes at 22%, about $31,348. The difference, $62,964. That's the cost of safety over 10 years on a $30,000 initial investment. But it gets worse. Those numbers assume you never added more money. Most people do. They keep adding to savings every month. If Rachel added just $200 per month to her savings for 10 years, she'd have added $24,000 more. Total contributions, $54,000. Account value with 0.6% interest, about $57,800. That same $54,000 contributed to an S&P 500 index fund would be worth $139,612. Difference, $81,812. The more you save, the more you lose by keeping it in a savings account. The virtue of saving becomes the mechanism of loss. Now let's talk about Marcus. Marcus made a different choice with the same $30,000 in 2014. Marcus was 33 in 2014. 1 year older than Rachel. He worked in marketing making $72,000 per year. He'd also saved $30,000. Marcus's parents gave him the same advice Rachel got. Keep it safe. Don't risk it. But Marcus read a book about investing, The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. The book's message was simple, low-cost index funds. Long time horizon, don't panic, that's it. In January 2014, Marcus opened a Vanguard account and bought VTSAX, Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund. Put all $30,000 in. Felt terrified. Then he did the hardest thing. Nothing. He didn't check it daily. Didn't panic when it dropped, just left it alone. In 2014, the market went up 13%. Marcus's $30,000 became $33,900. He felt smart. In 2015, the market went up 1%. Marcus's account barely moved. He questioned his decision. In 2018, the market dropped 6%. Marcus's account went from $53,000 to $49,800. He felt sick, thought about selling, didn't. In 2019, the market went up 31%. His $49,800 became $65,238. Suddenly the 2018 drop didn't matter. In 2020, COVID hit. March 2020, the market dropped 34%. Marcus's account went from $71,000 to $46,860. He lost $24,000 in 1 month. This was the moment most people panic and sell. Marcus remembered the book, Don't Panic. He held. Hardest thing he ever did. By December 2020, the market recovered. His account, $79,200. The crash that looked like disaster became irrelevant. By January 2024, Marcus's account was worth $94,312. His original $30,000 more than tripled. Marcus didn't time the market. Didn't pick stocks. Didn't do anything clever. He just bought index funds and didn't panic. That's all it took to beat Rachel by $62,964. So why did Rachel choose savings while Marcus chose stocks? Same generation, same financial starting point. What was different? The difference was loss aversion. Behavioral economists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky discovered that humans feel losses about twice as intensely as gains. Rachel was terrified of losing money. That fear felt rational, protective, but it caused her to choose guaranteed loss over probable gain. This is called the safety paradox. The option that feels safest, seeing your account balance never go down, is actually the riskiest long-term choice. Marcus felt the same fear, but he understood volatility isn't the same as risk. Volatility is temporary fluctuation. Risk is permanent loss of purchasing power. Savings accounts have zero volatility and 100% risk of purchasing power loss. Stocks have high volatility and low long-term risk of purchasing power loss. Rachel optimized for the wrong thing. The second psychological trap, nominal thinking. Rachel saw her account go from $30,000 to $36,000 and felt progress. She thought in dollars, not purchasing power. This is called money illusion. Your brain isn't wired to adjust for inflation automatically. You have to force yourself to think in real terms. The third trap, authority bias. Rachel's parents, her bank, traditional financial advice all said savings accounts were safe. She trusted authority over data. Marcus trusted data over authority. He read historical returns. He understood compound interest. He made a data-driven decision. That difference created a $63,000 wealth gap. So what should you do instead of keeping money in a savings account? There are 3 tiers. Tier 1, emergency fund only. Keep 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account. This is your insurance, not your investment. If your monthly expenses are $4,000, keep $12,000 to $24,000 in savings. No more. That's your buffer against job loss, medical emergencies, car repairs. Use a high-yield savings account. As of 2024, some offer 4 to 5%. That's not great, but it's better than 0.6%. A lie. Marcus, discover. Wealthfront compare rates. Tier 2, short-term goals, 1 to 5 years. House down payment, car purchase, wedding, anything you need in under 5 years. Don't put this in stocks. You see DIS, treasury bonds, or money market funds. I-bonds are excellent for this. As of 2024, they pay a fixed rate plus inflation adjustment. You lock in purchasing power, maximum $10,000 per year per person. Tier 3, long-term wealth building, 5 years or more. This is where you put money you won't need for at least 5 years. This should be in stocks. Tier 3, long-term wealth building, 5 years or more. This is where you put money you won't need for at least 5 years. This should be in stocks. Don't try to time the market. Don't pick individual stocks. Just buy total market index funds and hold. That's the strategy that beat 90% of professional investors over the last 20 years. Important. This isn't financial advice. I'm not your advisor. This is education about how these investment vehicles work. Consult a fiduciary financial advisor for personalized advice. But here's what the data shows. Over every 20-year period in history, the S&P 500 has had positive returns. Every single one, even including the Great Depression. Savings accounts, over every 20-year period, have lost purchasing power. Every single one. That's the difference. If Rachel had kept $12,000 in savings for emergencies and put the remaining $18,000 in index funds, she'd have $12,000 in savings plus $56,587 in stocks. Total, $68,587. That's still $32,000 more than she has now. A hybrid approach would have saved her $32,000 in opportunity cost. The worst thing you can do is keep all your long-term money in savings. Even a mediocre allocation beats that. Rachel lost $63,000 in potential wealth over 10 years by keeping money in savings. Marcus built $94,000 by investing in index funds. Same starting point, different choice. Keeping long-term money in a savings account isn't safe. It's guaranteed wealth destruction through 7 mechanisms: inflation, taxes, opportunity cost, compounding loss, false security, wealth gap acceleration, and bank profit. You can't afford to be safe anymore. Not when safe means guaranteed loss. You have to be smart. And smart means understanding the difference between volatility and risk. In 10 years, people who kept money in savings will have lost another 20 to 40% of purchasing power and $50,000 plus in opportunity cost. People who invested will have doubled their wealth or more. The gap will be massive. If this video showed you why savings accounts destroy wealth, subscribe to Wealth Insider Lab and hit the notification bell. We break down the hidden costs behind financial decisions that determine whether you build wealth or watch it disappear.